This is RnR English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of RnR English. Episode number 166, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode, I speak to the best substitute ever. That's right, Substitute Sabrina. When no one else is free, she is always there. She will never let you down. Plus, she's American, kind of. So she definitely has a different accent to the usual people on the show. So you will hear different versions of the words arsehole, other words, even my name. Yes, that's right. And we speak about two very important people in the world. One of which is called Boris Johnson and the other one is called Donald Trump. You may know them. Boris Johnson is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and Donald Trump is that blonde-headed president in that country called America. Anyway, remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary from this conversation is on the website rockandrollenglish.com. And if you want a podcast every day, rockandrollenglish.com/family. I will speak to you all again at the end. Here is the conversation. Happy listening. Substitute Sabrina, how are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
Always fantastic, especially now that I'm talking to you. We haven't spoken in a while, have we?
That's true. It's been a while. I don't remember exactly when.
Exactly. Notice there's some rock and roll pronunciation when she said it's been a while. It has been a while. Connected speech, I think, is the technical word for that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it feels good to speak to another English teacher. I speak to all those other idiots. They don't know anything.
So I'm the official colleague, you would say?
Exactly. If I said connected speech to one of the others, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, Substitute Sabrina, how do we usually start the show?
We start the show. Let's see if I remember. You telling me what's been going on?
Not correct. It was a good try. You know,
okay.
I can't fault you for effort. So when I say I can't fault you for effort, I can't say that was bad. With a review was the correct answer.
That's right. A review.
Yes. Do you think we have a review?
You should have a review.
That is exactly true. We should have a review, but we don't have a review. So this is a call to listeners to please leave reviews because as Substitute Sabrina said, we should have reviews, but unfortunately not. You can't always get what you want in life.
That's right, like the song says.
You can't always get what you want.
Exactly. I did think of that. Exactly. Anyway, do you know what we're talking about today?
I have no idea. What are we talking about, Martin?
Okay, so notice how she says Martin. What? That's something that's really always annoyed me.
That's how I say your name, Martin.
Martin. Okay, I'm not going to mention that. Not going to mention it, although kind of is connected a bit to what we're talking about because you know how much I love to talk about, you know, the differences and the similarities between America and Britain. And now we have another kind of similarity. We have something else in common. Obviously, you have Donald Trump. And now we have Boris Johnson.
Oh, man.
So I thought we could talk about those two chumps. So when I say chumps, those two idiots.
The two twin idiots.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought we could talk about some of their similarities. As you quickly mentioned there, those twins, because they do look quite a lot alike, don't they?
Yes, they do. The same stupid hair, the same body language, or the same body form. They're just two... Can I say this? Well, yeah, I can say this. They're two assholes.
Two assholes. You can say that word, but you have to pronounce it in the British way, which is arsehole.
It's
okay?
Asshole.
Just try and say it in the British way. I just want to hear. Just try.
Arsehole. How do you say it? Arsehole.
Arsehole, not
Arsehole.
Asshole.
Arsehole.
But well done there. Yes, you mentioned the hair. It's very strange how they both have that kind of straw-like hair, isn't it? So straw is what horses eat.
Or donkeys.
Yeah. Also donkeys like straw, exactly. And the way it's kind of yellow as well. I don't know if that's done on purpose or not. What do you think?
I think so because they want to think. Well, I mean, Boris is a little bit younger than Trump, so I think it's for them to look young. I don't know.
Here's the biggest question though: which one has the worst haircut? I know it's difficult to decide, but you have to. Which one has the worst haircut?
I would say Trump. Because if you ever see him when he's going up the stairs on the plane and the wind is blowing, oh my God, you could just see his bald spot, the way it blows off. So I would say him.
I feel for him there. So when I say I feel for him, I kind of feel sorry for him because I have a similar problem already. That I'm lucky in that I've got very thick hair and I keep it long just to cover up those bald spots. But if it gets windy, oh God, baby, you can really see it. You can really see my age with those ones.
But then again, maybe it's not his hair. Maybe it's what do you call it? Toupee.
Yeah, toupee. That's kind of a wig, isn't it? I've never really understood what a toupee is.
A toupee is like a wig. It's like a small wig there.
Thanks for clearing that one up. So clearing that one up, clarifying. I said, it's like a wig, isn't it? No, it's like a wig. Oh, thank you.
We get the picture. Come on.
Some more rock and roll vocabulary. You get the picture. You understand. I personally think Donald does have the better hair. At least he tries. So again, can't fault him for effort. He tries. Boris looks like he's just got out of bed.
That's true too. But then again, that's just his style. Did you see him when he was with the president, Macron, with his foot on the freaking table?
I try my best not to see anything involving Boris Johnson.
Now you're in the same shoes as I am. That you have an asshole for a what is he? Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, yeah. So some more rock and roll vocabulary. The same shoes as me. So like experiencing the same thing. Well, we've spoken about their hair. So now we're going to talk about some of the things they say. So again, they've both got a lot in common here because they both say stupid things. Some of the things, I did a bit of research and looked at some of them, were just basically too racist to even talk about. Not even funny. I like to, maybe make a joke of some things, but some things were so bad that I couldn't even make a joke of it. But I have found a couple of quotes. So from Boris, he says, voting Tory, so that's voting for his political party, will cause your wife to have bigger breasts and increase your chances of owning a BMW M3, which is a type of car. So thank you for that, Boris. My first question is, okay, so I vote Tory. My wife gets bigger breasts, but I'm a woman, let's say. Will my husband get a bigger penis?
Well, if the exchange would be the same, maybe you could think about it, but not.
Exactly. It's 2019, equal rights and all that stuff like that. So, my wife gets bigger breasts, great. But my husband definitely needs a bigger penis as well. Also, I want to know how, though. How will voting for a political party make my wife have bigger breasts?
Because they're two idiots and they just come up with these slogans. I mean...
Unfortunately, I think you are right there. But that was Boris. So now let's move to your best friend, Donald.
Oh, no, He ain't my best friend. Sorry, I didn't use proper English. He's not my best friend.
But you did use rock and roll English. So he ain't my best friend. He isn't my best friend.
Right.
And the only sort of acceptable one that I could find from him was the beauty of me is that I'm very rich. And I mean, what more do you want from a person than that, hey?
Oh, God. He just makes me sick. Really. Anytime I see him, I hear him, I just feel like throwing up. He's just crap.
So some more rock and roll vocabulary there. Throwing up, to be sick, to vomit. But yeah, so I was thinking about this quote that he used of the beauty of me is I'm very rich. And I was thinking the other day, I was sitting on the couch with Mrs. Rock and Roll English and we were playing a game of you had to say some nice things about the other one. Okay, like what do I like about you? There was lots of nice adjectives being thrown around, kind, generous. And I was thinking if Donald played that with his wife and then she just turns around and says, The best thing about you is you've got loads of money.
Oh, yeah. We all know why she's there.
You know, how does Donald feel about that? He probably thinks, oh, great. You know, that's a great thing.
Did you hear the latest one he said? And this I can repeat. He is the chosen one. He said, I am the chosen one. Because they were talking about the China problem. I am the chosen one.
What, chosen by God?
Yeah.
Or...
He looked
okay,
up he looked up at the sky with the reporters talking, and he's like, I'm the chosen one.
Similar to Jesus, I imagine.
My God.
Or Jose Mourinho, who also described himself as the chosen one. Not sure if you know that. If people don't know, he's a football manager.
No, I know. Jose Mourinho, he can say that, but not Trump. Come on.
I noticed you tried to say it in like a sort of Portuguese accent there.
Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho. I just did it with the English Jose. Just Jose. I would just like to mention here that Jose Mourinho didn't describe himself as the chosen one. He described himself as the special one. Sometimes I just talk absolute shit in the podcast and then I listen back and I think, what the fuck are you talking about, Martin? So, in future, try to listen out for those things. And if you hear me saying something that is absolute rubbish, please send me a message. Anyway, let's get back to the podcast. Another one from Donald is, my fingers are long and beautiful, as it has been well documented, are various other parts of my body.
Oh, I haven't heard that one. Oh, my God.
So basically, he's saying my penis is long and beautiful. Great.
Ew, disgusting sight. Oh.
But again, my first question that came into my head when I thought of that was, okay, we're talking about length. What about girth? Okay, that's so if people don't know what girth is, it's the sort of how fat, I suppose, your penis is. How thick. Yeah. I had to actually look up this word because if I hear the word girth, I just think of penises. I would never say, oh, this bottle has like a lot of girth.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, if you use that word, just use it for penises.
Just for penises
is your best option. But I don't know if we're being too harsh on them because, you know, they're in the public eye. So if you're in the public eye, you're basically in the public attention, let's say. And if you're being harsh on someone, you're being too strict, let's say, because, you know, everyone says stupid things every now and again. You know, do you say stupid things sometimes?
I'm sure I do, but in fact, just like you said, they're in the public eye, so and they're leading a country, so they should be, you know, a little bit more smarter than the average Joe. It's like, no, you can't say stupid shit.
Some nice rock and roll vocabulary again there. Then the average Joe, then the average person, basically. I myself, though, suffered from this the other day. I'm currently doing an online course to become a neuro-language coach.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's how I roll these days. So how I roll, the things I do. And it's an online course, you know, everyone's there talking like a classroom kind of vibe. But the problem is I'm at my computer, so I sometimes switch off and just stop listening. And then someone asked me a question, and I thought, oh, fuck, I don't know what the question is. So then I just said, what was the question again? And then the teacher responded very politely, said, oh, it's written on the screen. And I was like, okay. And then she just added, in very big letters. And I thought, oh.
In other words, pay attention, you idiot.
Exactly. Oh, I was just like, oh, you bitch. There was no need to add that last comment of in big letters.
To publicly embarrass you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I feel for Donald and Boris sometimes.
Oh, no, I don't feel for them at all.
No?
Nope, zero, zilch.
Zilch, some more rock and roll vocabulary. Again, a very strong way to say zero, I suppose. But both of them as well are both very patriotic. You know, Trump, you know, we're going to build the wall. You know, Boris, you know, fuck Europe and all of this stuff. And I did a bit of research about I can't remember the word. What is it? Patriotism or something like that?
Patriotism?
That's the one. Okay. More than two syllables is not a word for me. But that's why we have other people on the show. And I from what I understand, Americans are much more patriotic than British people. What do you think?
Good question. Yeah, they tend to be very patriotic.
They always talk about this American dream. Can you explain what this dream is?
The American dream, let's say, if you go to America, you can become what you want to become. You have to work hard for it. Why are you laughing?
Because you can do that anywhere. Why can you only do that in America?
Well, no, because in some places, maybe there's obstacles of too much. You have an easier path. Let's just say that.
Sure, those Americans, the American dream, man, come on, yeah.
But wait, it does exist, the American dream, or maybe it did exist. But yeah, it's kind of like you can become whoever you want to become.
I would like to add, I have come to Italy and I have become who I wanted to become. Okay,
that's
so
very good.
Let's talk about the Italian dream. Hey, what about that?
You could do that too.
Yeah, that's my point. You can do it anywhere, but the Americans love the American dream, man. And one other thing that I want to ask you, I remember you told me when you were in school, did you have to sing the national anthem every day? Is that right?
Okay, basically you had to you didn't have to sing the national anthem. You had to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Which, when I became a little older and I started understanding things, I refused to stand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a rebel.
Oh, what happened?
Well, some teachers didn't appreciate it and you would get reprimanded, but they can't force you. Others, they just ignored you.
Reprimanded? Isn't it reprimanded, I thought?
Reprimanded.
Oh, God.
We have to check that one out.
Wait, listen to the end and then I will tell you the correct answer for that one.
Sure, whatever. So yeah, basically I didn't stand because one, I felt I'm not a religious person, so the phrase one nation under God, and it's just too patriotic, and I was already a citizen of the world when I was a teenager.
Good on you. So well done. I was laughing there, but some of the things that we had to do in my school, because I went to a Catholic school. Just today, I was texting one of my friends from school, and we were talking about how there was a lesson in school called Search for Meaning. You know,
whoa, deep.
I still haven't found the meaning, and the meaning of life as well. That wasn't in the lesson, Search for the Meaning of Life, but you know, it was understood. That was the meaning we were looking for, but never found it.
Keep on looking. You'll find it.
That's all I can do. I'm going to keep on looking forever. So another thing is that they both became famous via TV shows. Obviously, Trump with, I think it was called The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Boris with a British one called Have I Got News for You? So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Boris got famous because of that. As I always say, substitute Sabrina, every day is a school day. Okay,
That's
so
right.
You just learned something.
That's
there.
right. I learned something new. Thank you there, Martin.
No problem. Rock and Roll English is so much more than an English podcast. So yeah, they both got famous via TV. And then I got thinking about, again, British TV, American TV, and some of the differences, similarities. Because when I went to America and I was watching the TV, I sort of thought, is there a program on here or am I just watching adverts non-stop?
Oh, that's constant. I mean,
that is, come on.
You have adverts for, Viagra. You have adverts for cholesterol, for heart attack, for everything. If you're not sick, you'll get sick.
Well, that sounds great. I really want to go. I really want to go in America and live that American dream now.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, maybe though, if I have problems with erections, then I can buy lots of Viagra, so that won't be a problem.
Sure.
Speaking of erections, though, that sort of moves me nicely onto the next point, which is the watershed. Do you know what that is? Do you use that in America? The watershed.
Watershed. For me, a shed is where you keep your tools.
Yeah, in the
garden, right?
The watershed is, in England, it's 9:00 in the evening. And after that time, then basically you'll hear all the bad words. For example, you're not going to hear fuck or shit before 9:00. You'll hear it after the watershed. So after 9:00, after the watershed, you want to say fuck? Say it.
So wait a minute. Watershed means after 9 o'clock?
Yeah, basically, like
Oh.
TV terms. So
Okay.
stuff that's on TV after that. Like, you're not going to see a penis, for example, before 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, penis, vagina, fuck, shit. It's there, baby.
Oh, in America, no. Or actually in the United States, to be politically correct. No, you don't see any unless you're on pay TV, like HBO or something.
Well, this is the thing. You can't see, like full-on sex. So when I say full-on, like, actual sex. But as I said, a fuck or a shit, the bad words, that's after the watershed.
Okay. But again, on regular TV, you won't hear that unless you're watching cable HBO,
Well,
Showtime.
let's get some cable then, okay? Is all I'm going to say. So we need to pick. Who do we prefer, Donald or Boris?
I have to pick.
Yeah.
I can't pick. There's no way to pick. There's no way to choose. It's just, there is no choice.
I was speaking to one of my friends here in Italy and I asked him who he prefers, and he described it as like having to choose between two different people to have sex with your wife.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
So I think the best answer to that question is neither.
Exactly.
Neither. Anyway, it has been brilliant talking about these two wonderful people with you, Substitute Sabrina.
It was a pleasure speaking to you. Maybe not about them, but speaking to you always.
Always. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time. I'm sure we will see you very soon.
All righty there. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was me and Substitute Sabrina speaking about Boris and Donald. So let's have a look at some of that rock and roll vocabulary. At the beginning, when Substitute Sabrina got it wrong about the review, I said, I can't fault you for effort. So I can't say you are not trying, basically. She tried her best, and that's all I could ask, even if she got the answer wrong. Then I said, let's talk about these two chumps, so Donald and Boris. So a chump is an idiot, let's say. Then I said that I feel for Donald because of his hair, I think. So when you feel for someone, you feel sorry for them. Then we had the word toupee, which I didn't actually know what the difference was between a toupee and a wig. I've found out since from searching on the internet that a wig covers all of your head, all of your hair, whilst a toupee just a little bit. And Substitute Sabrina cleared that up for me. So when you clear something up, you clarify it. Then she said, when we were still talking about this toupee wig thing, we get the picture. Okay, I get the picture. I understand. And then she said, now you're in the same shoes as me, when she was talking about, the United Kingdom have got a terrible prime minister. So we are in the same situation as Americans, let's say, that have a terrible president. So you are in the same shoes as someone. Usually we say, put yourself in my shoes. Think about my position. Then Substitute Sabrina used a very nice informal word, some nice slang, when she said, he ain't my friend. So he ain't, he isn't. We had the word throw up, which, remember, means vomit. Then we had one of my favourite words, which is girth. So remember, girth is like how thick something is. And as we mentioned on the show, generally used for penises. A big, thick penis, a girthy penis. Oh, yeah, baby. Then we said that Boris and Donald are in the public eye. So you obviously understand what that means. Just think about the prepositions, though. In the public eye. And then we said maybe we are being harsh on them. So harsh when you are being too strict, too horrible, let's say. Not giving them a chance. Maybe Donald and Boris just need a chance. Then Substitute Sabrina said that they should be smarter than the average Joe. So the average Joe, the average person. Then I was talking about my neuro-language course, and I said that's how I roll these days. That's what I do. I think I then said I had some sympathy for them, and Substitute Sabrina said, not me, zero, zilch. So zilch is just a strong way to say zero. I don't know where it comes from. I imagine another language. I probably should know this, but I'm not very good at other languages. Ask me something about English and Italian and I might know anything else, and I am a complete idiot. Then one thing that I want to clear up now was the word reprimanded. Substitute Sabrina had a different pronunciation for that. I don't know if that's American pronunciation, but in England we say reprimanded. So if you are reprimanded by someone, you are, let's say, punished. Then we were talking about the watershed, which in England, after 9 o'clock is after the watershed, when you can say fuck, you can say shit, and you might even see a penis. Then Substitute Sabrina obviously didn't understand that word, so she said shed. I know shed, that's the thing you have outside in the garden where you put your tools, and that's normally correct. In Britain, we have a shed, so in the garden you have let's say a small house made of wood where you can just put basically the shit you don't need. Anyway, that is all of the rock and roll vocabulary for this week. I will see you all again next week, people. Remember, all of this rock and roll vocabulary is on the website rockandrollenglish.com, episode number 166. So I will see you next week, but in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.